Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Uncharted. I've got Uncharted 1 on my mind so much that I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but we're playing Tomb Raider. I'm very sorry about that. We're playing Tomb Raider 2013 on the PC, and we are playing on hard difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty, even though it's a joke. Let's be honest about it. Let's not have any subterfuges, at least while I'm speaking. We're currently on part 9 of, I don't know how many parts will be, probably 15 if I had to say. And it's a section where you're punished heavily for getting seen or for killing enemies and having them find one another. So you do get a very gracious checkpoint halfway through this, and I half suspect that all of the enemies that you've killed before the checkpoint just respawn after you get a checkpoint. And the reason I think that is because when I was first doing this and I got a checkpoint, I saw more enemies with flashlights on the right side where I had taken out all of the enemies. So I consider this area to be the right side. Do you know who those first few enemies were? Those 3 guys. I just took down 1 guy, and then there's 2 guys. Where the deer is, you take a left or a right. I take a right at first, and then when you kill a certain amount of enemies, you will get a checkpoint for yourself. And I want to talk about Uncharted 1, and I want to talk about Chapter 5, and I want to talk about specifically the water room glitch that some subscriber just, if he is a subscriber, just pointed out to me. And it's one of those things where I really don't know if I would have used that glitch. Certainly, if you know what Chapter 5 is, there is a particular water room that's just, it's notorious. It's absolutely breakdown and cry time on that part, which I did. I'm not gonna lie about it, I fucking did. I don't even know how I beat it on crushing, to be honest about it. But what I was trying to do, and I'm sorry about speaking over this, but it's just stealth. You learn the patterns, you take out the guys, and you get a checkpoint. So it's, if the checkpoint wasn't here, I would be going over this a lot more. But in Uncharted 5, there is a section where you jump into a room that's flooded with water. Flooded, I say, just like at angle length, so you're not actually swimming in it. It's not causing you any environmental challenges or anything like that. It's just an aesthetic. And you have 2 guys perched on top of high platforms. You've got enemies coming in at different points, and you have one enemy on the ground at first. And then what's going to happen is at intervals, like the first spawn occurs on a timer, and then the second spawn, enemies are going to come from a certain like sewer shafts, and then the second time, once you kill those guys, you'll have a final spawn of like 2 guys with shotguns. And what I was trying to do when I was playing was, I was trying to, because I knew that the enemies spawn when you actually set foot on the ground. So it's a scenario where you're jumping into the room and you cannot get out of the room once you jump into it. So somebody pointed that out. I just want to read his message. Hopefully he doesn't mind. If I could find the actual video in my history on my phone here. Where is it? He commented on video 1 of this guide. So the guy, there's no point to naming him. Where is he? Sorry about this, he's on the bottom. Oh no, he says, what happened to Uncharted guide? Please don't say you had to choose Lara over Nathan. I was really hoping to see a guide for brutal difficulty. Not to be disrespectful, I think this guide is somewhat redundant, as the game Tomb Raider is fairly easy even on highest difficulty. I'm just going to say word for word what he's writing, so there's no sarcasm intended by me or anything. It does make you suffer sometimes, but brutal mode in Uncharted ellipsis. Bick, you should agree it is the hell in comparison to Tomb Raider. I agree. I fully agree. This game is heaven compared to that hell. And then he concludes with a postscript. I love Tomb Raider, parentheses, Played all games but the 6th and 5th ones, in parentheses. The 2013 reboot is my favorite from the series, but I see it inferior to Uncharted series. I do too. That's me inserting a comment. And then he concludes with another parentheses, even the very first one of 2007. I still can stop myself from watching this guide just to remind myself of how stupid I was when I was playing the game. Vic always finds the most efficient ways of doing stuff. Well, thank you. It's nice of you. And I guess I will name him Amer Diaz. And I responded to him with thus. Or this, I should say. Trust me, dude. I know. I'm very depressed about it. I couldn't beat Chapter 5. I don't have a PlayStation 4 anymore because I sold it. I'm putting together a high-end PC and will be gaming exclusively on Steam and or good old games. Also, this is an easy game on hard. That's why the lack of upgrades. It's a tad tougher. I love this game, and it is similar to Uncharted, which I love, but to which I lost. Next. Not to say this is Amer again, the commenter. Not to say I am a cheater. The only way I could finish Chapter 5 myself was using the water room glitch. Parentheses, the old glitch from 2007, which allowed to kill the enemies while being at the entrance to the water room and not yet inside. I know that is unfair, but first Uncharted is harder than other games from the series, and that water room is in fact the hardest fight Naughty Dog created for the game. Sad to think that it is, man, it is. In addition, I think leaving the most well-known glitch in the remastered version was made on purpose so that only dedicated fans can get the trophy for brutal mode. Well, I think if they left it in, they just left it in. I've seen many people do it without the water room glitch, and what he's talking about, because I looked it up, and they did retain the particular glitch. You go to the door where you would fall into the room. You backtrack all the way to the courtyard where the truck is. You go around the truck, you get on the turret that's in that courtyard, you shoot some rounds, and then you'll hear the battle music of the water room fight. So then I didn't see the rest of it because I wanted to commentate this, but I assume you can just pick guys off from the water room entrance without having to go down there. Although you would probably meet up with because I know like the shotgun guys come into the water room that you come into, like the way you come into it, that's the way they come into it too. So people like Daily Stealth, Hatto, who else has beat it that I know of? Would you do that glitch? Because I would be uncomfortable with it. I really would. And these people I just mentioned, great guides. They've made, well, not Daily Stealth. He doesn't make videos, but anyway. So let me just talk about this, and then I will conclude what I was talking about a minute before. There's 3 guys up here barring your entrance into the cave. So what you want to do before these guys, make sure you take out everybody who I took out first, because they'll find bodies, and then you can cause a distraction over here. And sometimes this guy will come down. I think it depends on where you shot the arrow. Hold on, I'm trying to download something from Steam, and it keeps making me do an update and pausing the fucking. Just download the game. It's not that hard. Son of a bitch. Okay. So I would be uncomfortable with it is all I wanted to say. So this video started out with a stealth section, which I apologize for speaking over, but with that checkpoint you aren't going to struggle. And then in this room here, it's just a minor little puzzle. One of the only puzzles in the game, actually. I guess there's a couple more, but just not too many. And then we're going to be on the beach presently. And whenever I get to the beach, I'm fully engrossed in this game. And I agree with Amer, what he was saying. This game is for whatever reason, it's just not hard. And I think all they would have to do is put a very hard mode on, where you would get killed fast, really fast, just like, say, crushing. But they didn't do that, and I'm led to see what they're going to do with the next game. Take care, you guys. Oh, we're not quite done, are we? Oh, we're gonna talk to somebody real quick. So this is the outskirts of Shantytown, and it's the beach. So just slide on down here toward the camera if that's your prerogative. It certainly is mine. And we're just going to retread a little bit of familiar territory. But instead of being in shit town, we're above it. And I think that's a great thing. But yeah, trust me, I'm depressed. I am depressed. It could have gone either way. I would have a PlayStation 4 right now if I had beat Chapter 5. But I decided to take my life in a different direction. I think I accepted pretty much that I'm not using the PlayStation 4. It's just collecting dust. I would rather have the high-end PC that I'm making right now, and it is going to be high-end PC. Like the cost of it, it's upwards of $1,200, like before my rig. It's almost $1,400. But if you don't believe me, I am saving money. Oh, we have a hard fight coming up. Damn it, this is hard. Okay. So, one of the elders that we killed in the previous video is going to interrupt this fight, but until he does, you are going to have to stave off several enemies. I say hard, but there really isn't much that's hard. I mean, it's the checkpoints too. Even the tooltips and the loading screens say that the game frequently autosaves. So the game holds your hand so much. And I hate to compare it to like being a feminine version of Uncharted, but it kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like, you know, that's the tougher game just because he's a man. In this game, they cater to you a little bit more just because it's a female. I hate even thinking that it could be anything related to that, but I don't think it is. That's sexist too, and I'm not sexist either, so I think it's just the designers who made this game, you know, and the fact that some games are easy, some games are a little challenging, which this one is. Some games are easy. Some games are, you know, hard and easy in other places. It just all depends. But it's just inarguably not a hard game, and I try to stay away from those games. But even so, it could be hard to other people. And what this guy was saying, Amber, is that he's disappointed. But the thing is, Amber, the people that are really looking forward to this guide and are going to be using it, they told me they're going to be using it, they're not disappointed in it. So it's just one of those things where, you know, maybe the next one will be to your liking a little bit more. And I'm sorry that Uncharted had to go away, but it did. You know, sorry can only be said so many fucking times. And anyway, I appreciate your comment, man. If you would prefer your comments not read in the future, I will acquiesce to that. Take care.